And we're live on Underground Wicked Radio with King Shem. I normally play radio drops. I apologize. My setup's a little fucked up right now between moving from New York to Salt Lake City. So on that note, might take a question.
All right, gentlemen. This is yet again another Gonzo style fucking interview right here on Underground Wicked Radio. We're here with King Shem. All right, King Shem. Let's jump right into this right away. Cold music, tell us about it.
It kind of happened. It happened. Me and some of the other guys were a part of, another management company, and after we got back from tour, there was some disagreements between me and the manager. And lately, like, my merch has been selling well, so we had a disagreement over merch and stuff. And I was just like, you know what? I've been doing this longer than all of you guys. I've been making music for almost 30 years. You know what I mean? I've been on major labels. I've been on indie labels. So I've been through the ringer plenty of times. And I was just like, I'm just going to keep the ball rolling with what I'm doing with the Black Hesher record because it's working, and just go off on my own. And some of the guys in the crew decided to come with me. And like, it wasn't like a mutiny or nothing. They just had their own reasons, So without getting into that, now we're moving forward, and we needed something to brand us all at once, And I was already doing the Black Hesher, Black Hesh cult hashtags, you know what I mean? So it kind of spun off of that, and I just kind of revived this older crew. I came out of DRC, and we kind of built back up off the older fans of that, you know what I mean? So by rebranding our Bandcamp page as Cult Music, not only do you get all the new stuff from us, but there's almost like 50, 60 albums from the whole entire DRC crew since like 2010, you know what I mean? And yeah, so it kind of just came out of nowhere, and as a way, like, we needed something fast because we were starting to get people's attention, and people are starting to pay attention, and the Hesher record is selling really well, and I didn't want to lose that with everybody else that's, putting everything into it as well, So it just came out of nowhere, really.
I didn't really get to touch too much base on, like, when did you guys start doing your cult music? What year?
Maybe a couple months ago. Like, I heard you guys' early interview. I talked to Mike, and it's like this, man. I've been making hip hop since the early 90s. You know what I mean? And I've followed every scene. You know what I mean? I actually played a show in like 2010, I think, in Worcester with Scum Dude. But
get those fucking L's up.
When I'm coming up with this shit, I'm not thinking about any of this stuff because I'm over here in my own little world, But legally, when I go to get all the ownership of all this shit, the only thing that came out was a Cult Music Records in Brazil. You know what I mean? So there's no way I could get a copyright or a trademark if somebody else already owned it. So if these dudes were calling this that, I even once, as you guys were talking about it during Jay's interview, I tried to cross-reference all over Google. I looked up all these dudes, and I don't know if they're just saying it they said it on their records, but it's in none of their bios. It's not in the label bio. So, it's no disrespect to them,
Have you ever seen the show American Horror Story?
Yeah.
Did you see the one about the cult music where this guy, Psycho Sam, killed a bunch of people listening to someone's music?
Yeah, wasn't that last season's?
That is Satanics music they're talking about. Yeah, that's him, SKR.
Yeah. Did they pay him for any of that?
I'd have to go back and listen to the interview, but I don't think he got paid anything for it. But yeah, it was pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this kid Ill Temper I produce has done a song with him in the past.
Satanic? Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know him directly, but
I do.
You know what I mean? Everything that I'm doing, like, I'll be honest, it's a whole different world, but I definitely didn't try to steal anything from anybody, and everything is public, So if anybody wants to contact me about it,
he's not like that, bro. At all. He's actually getting away from that music. He's doing a whole different thing.
It's no disrespect, and honestly, my records, I don't make acid rap or hardcore. You know what I mean? That's just not what I do, you know. And but I've been around long enough to watch it evolve from starting from probably I'd say the first horrorcore song I ever heard was probably from the Ghetto Boys, like '86 or so when they made Assassins. That was like,
Yep.
and then when Esham started coming out and Nodis, and then like that's like horrorcore. I don't consider I that's like a made up label that came later when like Gravediggers and Flatliners and shit came out. You know what I mean? It wasn't
Flatliners,
called that
fuck yeah.
before. It wasn't
No.
called that before. It was just whatever it was, and it was really focused mainly in the Midwest, right? Like Detroit and stuff like that. I grew up on
Yep.
the East Coast. I grew up in Massachusetts, so like a lot of my influences were more East Coast hip hop from like the late '80s, early '90s. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then you just kind of evolve. And I listen to a little bit of everything because you need it all. You can't when it comes to hip hop, you can't even the new shit out now, like Little Fucking Dickhead or Young Fucking Dicky Bag. You can't you it's one whole but it's one whole puzzle, and you can't take pieces of the puzzle and have it just stand because each like everything kind of keeps each other balanced. You know what I mean? You need a Nas just as much as you need like fucking Twisted, just as much as you need somebody pop on the radio. It constantly feeds itself, and if you look at say the most popular bands in that style, take your ICP or Twisted or Boondocks or Blaze, and you listen to those albums as they grow, they all fall into a perfect pop song structure. If you're a
You don't
producer,
want to
you know
get
what I
me
mean?
started on
The
Boondocks.
verse, no, but I'm just saying, I'm
Yeah.
not saying it like I'm a fan. I'm saying it from a production standpoint. You got your verse, you got your big catchy hook, you know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't matter what style of music you're making, man. Rock, punk rock, fucking
Yep.
deathcore. Everybody aspires to make something catchy that somebody else will fucking remember and fucking want to buy. You know what I mean? Anybody else that says different, they're fucking lying. Because I've been doing this long enough that when I stopped giving a fuck is when people started buying the shit. And that's what's happening with the Black Hesher. I just finally made a record for me. You know what I mean? I've already outgrown like fucking spitting bars or doing this or doing that. And like I just made this weird ass record and surprisingly a bunch of people liked it,
That's how it works, though, honestly.
This record is dope as fuck. That's all I got. Yeah, I got
Right?
mine. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
That's definitely, brother. You know what I notice is maybe it's your Boston influence, but you're kind of almost like a throwback.
Oh,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
I mean, dude, my biggest musical influences go back in time. You don't go backwards. Starting like when I first started rapping, I was influenced by Run DMC, the Beastie Boys, Public Enemy, EPMD, Tribe Called Quest. That's when like in hip hop when it's not like now in the sense, and I love new school shit. Like some of the shit I produce for uh, Big Mike or the Swipe Right shit is like current topical hip hop, but we're talking about like a whole era. Even like say when like Mike Clark was producing for Psychopathic, like everybody was a self-contained unit, so everybody sounded different. Now it's all about who's got the hottest beat and like fucking it's a whole different thing where you can take just about any rapper that's famous in a mainstream way right now, shake them up and have them drop on all different beats and it's still all going to sound the same. You know what I mean? Because it's not like self-contained, and that's what I kind of like about working with the guys I work with because everybody has similar influences, but sounds completely different. But when we're together, it's like we're like fucking Wu Tang, but like if Wu Tang was like all the kids from Jackass, you know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
All right,
Speaking of, oh, go ahead, Christina.
I have a question for you. What is the story behind the bunny suit?
Well, there's a couple different things. One, last year, I saw the hat in Walmart, the mask for like $10, like after Halloween, and I just randomly bought it because it was fucking $10. Then, as I started going and making this record, I started bringing it to shows and people started reacting to it. You know what I mean? almost like some fucking weird EDM shit, but where like the music's actually good. So then uh, a couple of girls came to some of the shows with ears too, and then I got the idea to fuck, I'm just gonna fucking give out these ears or sell them, you know what I mean? And then once I started getting the light up ears, and it started making people more interactive at the shows, you know what I mean? Because I don't like wear the mask when I'm fucking singing, but anytime I throw it on a stage, like people go crazy, and that's kind of like, you know, where it just gives people something else to latch onto, because I'm not going to just go on stage and just stand there and do my record note for note live. You know, like we're crazy. We're hanging from things. We're jumping off things. I'm trying to break shit. And it gets people involved in what we're doing. And then I'm just super like one of my all time favorite movies is Donnie Darko. So I started fucking going that route with it. I got a full Frank suit for on stage for, you know, I cats that wear it while we're singing, and they're starting to dress like Donnie Darko at shows now, like
It's
with the
funny you
skeleton
say
shit.
that.
But
Do you know there's an artist, horrorcore artist, Donnie Darko?
I did not know that. I know
He's pretty
I'm
big in
just
the
super into
underground.
Frank. That's cool, man. I mean, I've honestly I spent half my life like underground. You know what I mean? I started as a major on a underground first on an indie label with a band called Cool and Smack. Then went to a major. Then went back to uh, indie when fucking shit didn't pan out. And along the road, I've played probably a show with just about fucking 100, 200 underground bands that I can know of, or that are slightly big from fucking I don't even know, man. I've played fucking with Korn, Capadonna, Block and Cloud,
Damn.
Reef, Slain, Ill Bill, Ari the Rugged Man, ROC, Prozac, uh, fucking list goes on and on. Fucking D12, Hollywood Undead, and not just me.
Damn.
Just everybody. I'm naming shows that everybody within DRC did as well, because it was always sometimes like it'd be a crew show or somebody that was producing or somebody down with, but on and on and on. Like think on the cult music page is like a whole list of everybody we played with, and I'm sure there's tons of missing out. You know what I mean? Like when I was coming up with Cool and Smack, we played with a lot of fucking cool bands because we were coming out of the scene in Boston when it was set to be like the next Seattle, but my group like we were all on drugs, dude, and like nobody was out talking about that shit. You know what I mean? I put out my first vinyl like and cassette in like early '97. So by the time dudes like Eminem came out, like we were already fucking talking about the shit, but it was a different way. It wasn't to be funny. Like we were really fucking hooked on drugs, and we were talking about that other side. So if, like hardcore hip hop is like at least considered in the mainstream, like dudes talking about selling drugs and shit. We were like the kids who were fucking buying it, and we were talking about it and what it was happening. And it's funny because I just went back to play some shows in Boston, and it's like an opiate epidemic. So I never thought that a record I made 20 years ago would describe what was going to happen out there in the future. You know what I mean? It's really kind of crazy.
Yeah, you just never know, man. Like, I don't know. The drug scene's gotten fucking ridiculous.
It's played out. It's pretty played out, dude. At this point, unless fucking like aliens come down and be like, "Yo, you want some space drugs?" and I'll be like, "Yup."
Oh God.
Then I'm all set with that, you know.
Shit. All right, homie. So, what? Have you ever done like a team project that you have regret doing?
Like with a crew,
Yes, with other artists.
a record that I produced,
Yep. Let's say a
or
team project with just some
not,
random
not,
artist.
not really. You know what I mean? Everybody I've ever worked with, I pretty much still have like a good relationship with, and if like with like the DRC crew, we've had our ups and downs. You know, everybody went through their own fucked up personal shit because people forget like you can make music and make records all day, and you can post it somewhere and you can do whatever, but then on the side of that is real life is happening at the same time. You know what I mean? So what I've learned is where I'm at now is I look back at anything as like a learning experience, and um try not to handle anything that went wrong in the past again like that in the future. Like it's only recently that, and I'm usually like that every day. I'm pretty positive fucking dude. And only recently, till we had the fallout with the company we used to be, that's like the only time like the old me started resurfacing and wanting to fucking kill somebody. But then I caught myself and I was like, what are you doing, man? Let's just keep it moving. You know what I mean? And because in the long run, when you're lashing out at people, you only really hurt yourself, you know? But I'm proud of everything and everybody I've ever worked with, you know, and a lot of these cats are still doing really, really good, you know?
So for people just tuning in, what does DRC mean?
DRC started like 2009, I want to say. It used to stand for Drug Rat City because a lot of the kids that were coming to Cool and the Smack shows, we started calling them Drug Rats. And it kind of just went from there. And then as we went, it just meant whatever we wanted to mean when somebody asked us. You know, it could have been like fucking Dopest Record Company, Dope Rhyme Crew, or whatever I thought of at the moment. But it was just, it was more so a collective than a label. I mean, it was a label in the sense of like we branded everybody's shit with the logo, but everybody's always in control of their own product. You know what I mean? And in careers, it was more of a collective of everybody helping each other. Then it just kind of got too bloated. It was like 30 people in it at one time, and it just became too much, you know? So, and like some of the DRC cats that are on Cult Music with me now, like Diastro and Il Tempa, and Acid Drop, who was my partner in Cool and Smack, well, the second from the second Cool and Smack record on.
Now I keep hearing you mention Twisted here and there. Do you follow their label, Magic Ninja Entertainment?
Yeah, I think Twisted's dope, man. I've always dug them just because, like, even before that, when you go back to like the House of Crazy shit and stuff, and like those kids are real rappers. You know what I mean? Aside from all just because when you just instantly like to somebody who doesn't know, like bring up like acid rap or hardcore or something, and people automatically lump it into this category and forget that there's a lot of dudes that like are in that genre that like a fucking spit is. You know what I mean? And those dudes are dope. Like my boy, I just played a show back home with Mad Max. Like he's dope.
Hell yeah,
He's a dope MC.
Yes,
but if you just get lumped into like being a juggalo or whatever, and people that aren't a part of that culture don't understand it, they just tend to write it off, you know, without listening. And you can't diss something unless you give it an honest listen. Like, a good example is like, I've been producing for a long time. I just produced this. Basically, it's like a trap beat for our boy Big Mike, and the shit is dope. But just listening to a lot of other mumble rap shit, like you can see why it's popular. It's because the beats are fucking dope, and the rest of the shit is just garbage. But before I could say, hey, this is garbage, I had to take the time to listen to it and make my own opinion on it. You know what I mean? Yep. And now that I don't like it,
Well, I was asking about Twisted. My homies got signed. I've interviewed quite a few times. All Azuli Lou got signed.
The Axe Kids, right? Yeah, I just started
hold up.
Hearing about them maybe about a year ago or so, but those dudes are dope, man, and they deserve it. You know what I mean? They've built up their following, man. They're true to who they are, and the shit's dope. And it's good that they went that way, honestly, to Magic Ninja and not Psychopathic.
Okay, I'm gonna play something for you. I have been promoting these guys for 6 years. Check this shit out. You'll get a kick out of this. Oh, why is it not turning on? All right, Mike, you may have. Okay, there it goes. Let me play this. See if it's gonna play or not.
Drop it, little jerk. Whoa.
Joey Black, Zoomy Lou, the AXE, and you're listening to DJ Halloween Snickerdick on Underground Wicked Radio. You can catch us at longliveevil.com. Congratulations, motherfucker. Right for you, pull my tits out.
Good guy right there.
Yeah, man. I'm friends with one of the dudes on Facebook.
Joe Black.
Joe Black, yeah, that's probably him.
Yeah.
Yeah, them dudes are cool, man. They fucking deserve it, man. They fucking worked hard for it, and that's what happens when you fucking work hard, you know?
Well, after this interview, I'll give a link to Mike. I interviewed these guys at IHOP at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, that's dope.
They started fucking screaming in the middle of IHOP at 4 in the morning, bro. I thought the cops were coming, wearing their fucking mask. It was great. All right, let's take another question here. Mike, did you have one before I take another one?
I got an arsenal.
Go for it.
So let's multi-layer this real quick. All right,
All
you
right.
just were able to go back to Boston, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been out in San Diego?
About a year.
About a year.
I've been living in California back and forth since about 1999. I lived for a good 10, 11 years in LA, Orange County for a bit, and then I came to San Diego just to visit another friend of mine, and I met Big Mike, and it was just a dark spot in my life, and I was just trying to get all my shit back together. I met Big Mike, and he was a big factor in me getting my shit together, and from there, I just ended up staying, man. I love the vibe. It's nice, it's mellow. It's close enough to go wherever I need to go. Like, I got a lot of stuff coming up that I have to go back up to LA for soon, but then you can just go. The difference is LA it's a dope city. It's almost like if New York and Miami had a baby, but there's
Right.
also
Makes
like a
sense.
lot of fucking plastic shit out there. And I think coming from the East Coast, you have a built-in bullshit radar anyway. So
Yep.
that's how I survived out there. But out here, it's mellow and like the music scene's popping. People go to shows and like I found like for us is like where we can play with anybody. So we really been focusing on invading everybody else's scene, you know, because the hip hop scene is probably the only thing that's hurting in San Diego, and it's just because that that even 40 years in, hip hop still has that stigma of like fucking violence or people we don't want here or something,
There's an
So-
artist from California I've been promoting that lives in Tennessee now. You ever heard of Muck Sticky?
No.
Damn, you gotta check him out. He's hilarious. He just made a movie. You keep mentioning Twisted, so I want to play one more drop. I normally do this shit in the beginning of the interview. How'd that other one sound? Because I'm doing a completely different sound setup here. Were you guys able to hear it all right, or was it?
Yeah,
muffled?
I can hear it.
All right, let me play this for you real quick. You'll get a kick out of this. Let me see.
Sell boy. My name is Jamie Madrock. I'm Paul. And we are Twisted.
That's awesome. djsnickerz.
Wow. Underground radio. What it do?
What?
Where you calling
All
from,
right.
player?
I am calling from Kentucky.
Okay, Louisville in the house, baby. Somewhere.
Live on my radio, Underground Wicked Radio.
Okay, that's fucking awesome. That's awesome. Oh man, we gotta hang up on you.
Fucking Jamie, man, hung up on me. Middle of doing a radio drop.
That's cool, dude.
Good shit. All right, I'm gonna take a question here. All right, so let me think for a minute. What kind of advice would you give to a new artist starting out? Like some pros and cons and what not to do.
Just to fucking believe in yourself and do whatever the fuck you want to do. When you listen, it doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're making music, you want to write a book, you want to fucking join the carnival, you want to fucking, develop an app, whatever it is, there's always going to be people around you that tell you you can't do it because they're afraid of achieving their own goals. You know what I mean? So, but I would say like really listen to the music too. Don't fucking, it's too easy to post anything anywhere these days and hype yourself up. Like make sure that shit's good, like really take the time to learn your craft. Don't make a song and put it up that day, your very first song, you got to take time to really make that shit good. If you fucking wouldn't buy it, then don't fucking put it on somebody else. You know what I mean? You got to make sure that shit's good first, and just keep plugging away, man. There's no right or wrong way to make music. There's no right or wrong way to promote it. Like everything's kind of in 2018, it's like the wild, wild west. This is like the first time in the history of music or movies or anything that there's no set next media. So, all these major companies thrived off you always having to replace your catalog, from fucking record to 8-track to cassette to CD, you know what I mean? Or like, VHS fucking to DVD. There's none of that anymore. You know what I mean? So like, you just got to find whatever it is your niche and focus on that area, you know, build up around at home and like play some shows and then start playing in other places because it's easy for anybody to get like 30 of their friends to play a show. You know what I mean? You'll know you're good when you can play in front of fucking 30 people you don't know, and by the end of the set they all love you. You know what I mean? Or just going out of your comfort zone. But I would just say first just focus on your craft, man. Make sure you're good before you let the world hear it. You know, and I don't mean like bouncing it off your friends or your crew and like, you know, getting feedback, and then also be open to critical positive, what is it, constructive criticism. You know, don't fucking take, you got to have a thick skin, especially in rap. You got to have a thick skin.
Yes, you do. Now, homie, do you care if I play that song?
What song?
King Shem featuring Big Mike, Titty Bio.
Titty Boy.
Titty Boy. Oh, okay, I see it now. Yep.
If you want, yeah.
Yeah, man, I am so fucking adding this to the radio. We're gonna play this.
Trumps. This video is dope. We were going for a Adult Swim type of feel. So my buddy Halfwit directed it. My buddy Zach, Halfwit, man.
Hey yo, girl, we need to talk quick. I got drunk and sent your mom some dick pics. She came over, you open, watch it.
I'm gonna smoke a cigarette while you play this.
Unwrapping gifts like an almond joy. 42 breastfeeding, call me titty boy. I didn't mean to be that crude. Mike walked in and he was like, that's rude. I know you're probably upset. I would make amends, but I'm only on my first step. I would say I'm sorry, but I know you're not having that, especially when your mom's texting me on Snapchat. Trying to grab that. I'm pretty sure your mom's credit score 724. Want that milk money like Fergie. Tell your mother I said hi. I'll see her at 4:30. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. I drink milk. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy.
This is ridiculous.
I like it.
We just played that when we were home.
My ass off.
I'm a good boy.
People like that shit live, man. It's funny.
Yeah, dude.
I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. I drink milk. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. I drink milk. I'm a good boy. I drink milk. I'm a child. Don't judge me. Always looking for the titties.
Busty.
Titty boy since birth. Daddy is jealous cause I'm bridging my thirst. Mama's always yelling, you're too old, it hurts. My brother's yelling, I was here first. Lock me up, throw the key away. I've been thinking about these titties all day. Like an ice truck, pull up to the curb. That breast milk, all we ever serve. I'm a titty boy, you know what time it is. I'm not retarded, but my baby mama is. Love them double D's, like a bouncy house. Gonna turn it out, squirt them in my mouth. Love them big titties, no guilt.
Come here.
I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. I drink milk. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. I drink milk. I'm a good boy.
What just happened?
I'm a good boy. I drink milk. I'm a good boy.
My hair?
I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy.
What happened? Am I on the
Good boy. I drink milk.
I don't know.
Good boy.
Yeah.
Good boy. I drink milk.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, you guys really got to check that music
You
video
got
out.
it? Wait a minute.
There you are.
There you,
You got me?
yeah, you're back. Wait, is he back? No, it's his picture. Oh, there he is. You're good, homie.
Hey, we
All
live in Deadville's got a couple questions here for Mr. Shem.
Ah, go for it.
Okay, so if you could do a charity show anywhere in the world, where would you do it and for what charity?
If I could do a charity,
If you
I
could
would-
do a charity show anywhere, where would you want to do it at and for what charity?
I would do it probably somewhere warm like Hawaii, and I would do a charity. It's a charity for retarded kids to make them less retarded for retarded things. or something like that. I don't know. Anything that could help like retarded kids, because I love them little fucks.
Okay, so we're not supposed to call them retarded.
Oh,
I think the proper term would be
is pre-tarded.
There you go. There you go.
Listen, let me tell you this right now. I love retarded kids. You want to know why? Listen, I'm going to tell you. Have you ever seen a fucking sad retarded kid?
Nope.
Ever? They're
Honestly,
always happy.
Yep.
Always happy. Always happy. And I want to live my life like that. I want to always be fucking happy. And we're all a little retarded, dude. Anytime you fucking have an orgasm and make a retarded face, like, you're retarded. So
I told Michael if we ever had a blind child that I would rearrange the furniture every night after we put it to bed.
That's fucked up.
Oh man,
it's funny. It would keep them on their toes.
All I can think is Trailer Park Boys, Bubbles.
Yo, we did a show. I did a show with Mr. Leahy and Randy.
That's what's up. Hell yeah.
Before, yeah. The shit was dope.
How were they in person?
They were wicked cool. It was cool because we were the only ones on the bill with them. We were playing the show in Rhode Island, and like the whole crowd was like all these like fucking hipster dudes, and we were like, oh, they're gonna hate us. But somehow, like right in the first song, in the middle of it, Mr. Leahy came out on stage and started dancing with us. There's actually footage of it on YouTube. If you just look up DRC live with Mr. Leahy, he just comes out and starts dancing, and like from that moment on, the crowd loved us. You know. But they were really good. They were really humble guys, you know.
That's what's up. All right, we are slacking on hot seat questions here, Mike. He probably heard them on the other interview, so let me think of another one. All right, homie. Well, this is a good one because, well, here we go. So, homie, if you could start up your own cult, what would it be about?
Fun activities, would have the best juice. It would be like probably all chicks and just like the dudes in cult music, but it wouldn't be like a sexual thing. It'd just be like, I feel like there'd be like less violence or maybe more violence if you have that many chicks. But I know we'd have lots of fun. We'd have fucking matching suits, like matching Puma suits, and we'd like I just make up shit on the fly as I went. I'd be like, yeah, fucking space dolphins run everything, and fucking, you know, you got to stick your fucking dick in this toaster. I don't know. I would just make it up as I went, though. You know what I mean? I'd just make it up. Every day there'd be like some new philosophy. I'd be like, no, trust me.
I just thought of a new hot seat question. I kind of went with the one before about the porn. All right, homie. If you and your old lady were to make a porn video, what would your old lady's porn name be?
I don't know.
Should I ask her?
I don't think I could say it without giving away the Pornhub shit that's already up.
Oh, here we go.
You know, so, I don't know, man. I think at that point you should just use your name. You know, because you want to know why? Because fucking Pornhub right now pays more than fucking Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. Fucking fuck that. I should just be making porn. Actually, I'm gonna go make some porn right now. Gotta go.
Porn actors, man. There he goes.
I just got in a fight with this girl I knew that was a porn star like the other day on Facebook. Fucking.
What was her name?
Like, her porn name is Vanessa Six, but I'm not gonna give out her regular real name.
No, don't do that.
But yeah, she'd hit me up and like was asking me for money and shit. And like, cause I met her in like rehab like 2 years ago. I was at this really fucking fancy rehab in Orange County that was like, you know, for like rich people, and my stupid ass ended up there by pure luck. And yeah, so fucking she was asking me for money, and I just was.
I think the biggest porn
star.
Gave her
the gladiator thumbs down.
Biggest porn star I've interviewed up today, but had it been Nadia White, I think.
Right.
That was a good interview.
I mean, I've come across a lot of porn stars when I lived in Hollywood for a long time, and
yeah, there's a lot.
If you're running around partying in Hollywood and doing drugs and shit, you'll come across a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I've come across a lot of fucking D-list fucking actresses and actors and shit like that. I'm not like a big name dropping dude, but when I go to write the book of my life, I've got some great fucking stories.
Speaking of Gonzo, homie, I need to know what days you're off because Rod Germany told me yes to an interview.
Oh, that's
He's
dope.
never off.
I'm never
He's
off,
a
but
legend.
I can make a date for fucking Ron Jeremy and shit. Fucking, I want
Just
to
tell
make
your boss, be like, I gotta get off early, man. Ron Jeremy, I gotta talk to him.
Yeah.
have an interview with this really huge penis. 'Cause that's-
He'll be like, again?
What
It's not that guy from out back, is it? He'll
Yeah.
just be like, no.
No. Hey, but I'll tell you what though, me and Christina, we've been talking about some juggalo porn on Pornhub though. You know, we might be able to make some money there.
It already exists, bro.
I don't know, man. Like, you have to get to a certain number of viewers. And,
Homie, I used to help run a juggalo porn site on Muser Nation. It already
Yeah,
exists.
but look, it's gonna
I
have
mean-
meetings, so we should be able to sell it quick.
Shit. Hell no.
I want to run my hot seat question. I'm sure you probably heard it earlier, but I still want to throw him out there.
maybe I was doing a bunch of shit at the same time.
All right. Well, it's a do or die fucking question. Okay.
Die!
No, you don't want to. Well,
Oh.
maybe you might want to die. But I mean,
Alright.
if you want to keep living your life the way you're living it, you know, everything going good, it's all going to work out. Fucking
Bingo! Wait. All right.
Okay.
Go.
Or you die. Or you die.
Wait.
This is what you have to do to save your life.
Wait, you
gotta
gotta
do
say
it.
that whole thing again.
All right. You need to save your life. Either
Yep.
you do or you don't. You know, you get the benefits of do and no benefits of don't. To save your life, you got to give a handy to one of the guys from Cold Music. One of your crew guys. Brando,
Wow.
Andrews, whoever. Who would you be giving a handy to if you were going to save your life?
And it can't be yourself. Those handies don't count.
No, they suck. It feels like I'm used to that. It's like 40 years.
Right.
Since we've already do this stuff on tour, what do you think we do? We give each
Right.
other hand jobs all the time.
That's
Rest
why
stop.
Andrew
So
wouldn't answer. He didn't want
you gotta
to see
you gotta
that.
do fucking anyone line them all up. I'll blindfold and then just
Circus
save.
Seal?
I'm just gonna save my life, just jerking away. Jerk
See,
to
I thought people were going to pick Brando for some reason. I don't know why. I just figured Brando would be the one that would be
Brando. Listen, when we're on tour, Brando is a hunk. Ladies love Brando, and it's
Right.
funny because he handles it so well. You know what I mean? Because Brando, you know, he's married and stuff, and he always redirects it to like about the music or about the show, about merch, but he handles it like so professionally, you know. And then also too, like Brando used to be like a teen actor. He was on a sitcom called House Arrest with Sinbad, and so he used to be on like Teen Beat and Tiger Beat and all those. So he's used to being a teen idol.
Right. I did not know that.
Neither did
Yeah.
I.
Hey, when you guys talk to him, ask him about his acting past. He was in a movie called Three Little Indians.
No
He played
shit.
Tonto. He played Tonto. Yeah, he played Tonto.
What the fuck?
It was a movie about juvenile delinquent kids.
Right?
Wow, wait till we get him on. I got some questions for him then.
You know he's
Definitely.
he's got a doppelganger, right? There's a guy on WWE on SmackDown.
Chad Gable.
Right? She's on Raw.
Really?
Chad Gable. He looks just like Brando. When he's wrestling up, like, oh, they're fucking up Brando. God damn it. Looks just like him. Check it out.
Yeah, that's my dude, though. You know what I mean? We got some really big shit planned. You know.
Speaking
All
of
right, so I got a
wrestling,
question for you. So,
Right.
homie, have you ever Googled yourself just for the fuck of it? And if you have, what was your reaction to the results?
To mine,
Yeah.
whatever. Really, like I had a good fucking online beef with a girl in about 2010. So she definitely tried to sully my name on the internet. And
Damn.
when I seen it, I just laughed and took it and connected it to my fucking all my websites. You know what I mean?
Fucking great.
And you always just take anything people try to use against you and turn it around. I think she put me on some cheaters website or something weird that's not like actual real social media. So you had to have put it there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I just put it right on Facebook so all my friends could get on it and fucking troll the fuck out of her. But
That's
yeah, man, I'm waiting for something to come up. I really wish I was that famous. You know, mostly it's just my music and shit.
hell yeah.
Yeah, I just Googled you right now, and mostly what comes up is your Facebook and a biblical character named Shem.
Right. Well, it
This guy
depends on
could
what
be
you look
all
up. If you look up Cool Than Smack, you'll find Cool Than Smack shit. If you look up Black Hesher shit, you'll find Black Hesher. And most of the stuff that I'm doing is really on the Black Hesher. Like Shem was my MC name, you know what I mean? And the Black Hesher project is really something brand new because it's not all hip hop. So I wanted to something that represented moving away from that. And Black Hesher is kind of like a to me like a black stoner kid. Uh, I grew up mixed, you know, so in Boston, which was crazy. Actually, a city called Brockton, Mass, and you know, people are fucking racist back in the day on both sides. You know
I
what I
just
mean?
interviewed an artist from Boston about 4 months ago. Gothic band. His name was Devil Boy or Demon Boy.
Demon
Demon
boy.
Boy. Yep.
I've never heard of him.
I'll have to
Hey,
link
you
it.
know, if you Google Living Dead Girl, my picture and stuff comes up. I finally can be Googled.
Right, that's dope.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be honest, dude. Like the last fucking past year, I'm in my own bubble, dude. And lately, that's the only way I can make get creative with music is I have to not listen to anything around me for a while, you know, and then like I'll catch up to something new or something. But
You ever
a
heard of
lot of times
Extreme Sounds of Overdose?
No.
Extra Overdose, sorry.
Maybe, dude. I think isn't that kid fucking beefing with like King Crimson or some shit?
King
Like-
Crimson.
Like a month, 3 months ago. I don't know.
I interviewed that stupid fucker. I
That
didn't.
dude's a clown.
I
He's
didn't
purely
know.
clown shoes.
Yeah, like it's got over 10,000 views on it because people are just dissing him on that motherfucker.
Yeah, he was fucking with my boy Chuck, and
Chuck Reeves?
yeah, I've known that
Oh,
dude for a long time, man. I used to
Good guy.
play shows when he was in the Dope Man. He used to play with us and shit. And yeah, he's a cool motherfucker. And
Yep.
like, dude, I'll be honest, dude. Like, if something hits my radar and where I'm looking, then I'll check it out. But there's just so much
So what do you think of CPM
shit.
then?
That dude's a shitbag, dude.
Child's play.
Fact. Yeah, that dude's a clown.
Man,
Well-
him.
I'll be honest, dude, I'm in a whole different other orbit, you know, so I don't really pay attention to a lot of the shit that's happening because, like, I'm down with everything, man. And I feel like people label shit and then they get divided over shit. Like, look, even happened with Twisted and ICP and fans, like, getting mad like it was their parents getting divorced and shit, you know? Instead of just supporting the people that you love, you know, but don't attack people for their opinions. And it happens everywhere. It happens in music, it happens over people's political views, religious views, fucking
Yep.
sexual
Christina, I see the
preferences.
smoke coming
It's
out of your
ridiculous.
ears. I think she's got some questions for you.
All right, go.
I have a couple questions, actually. My first one is, so you've been doing this for 20, 30 years, so you've seen a lot. What is
Yeah.
the most common mistake you see upcoming artists make that actually hurts their careers more than helping?
Lately, spam mailing. You know, I every day I get like people just spamming me links that I never even heard them in my inbox, and it's like, who am I? It's not like I'm somebody super popular, but spam shit or like, especially on Facebook, because what Facebook has done was you have to pay for your posts from your music pages. You know what I mean? And between all my music pages collectively, there's at least 3,000 people, and to, you know, sometimes I'll do the sponsored post or whatever. So when your music has to funnel into your personal page, not everybody fucking cares what the fuck you're doing. You know what I mean? With my shit, I just say the most ridiculous shit I think of on Facebook anyways, because it's fucking, the whole thing is retarded. The whole concept of it. People get sucked in and thinking that's like the real fucking world. And I've been making music long enough that if Facebook ended tomorrow and you couldn't use any recording programs and all that shit just disappeared, like I started doing this shit well before any of that existed. You know what I mean? So I'll be fine. You know, I'll go back to flying on the streets, but people just spam or they be like, if you don't fucking listen to my shit, you fucking suck. Or they'll meet somebody or just they'll go to a show and try to give like whoever the headliner is their CD, you know, like they haven't had that happen to them like 50 million times, and not
Right.
really trying to develop their fan base, and they're not targeting who that fan base is. Like right now, I'll be honest with like the Black Kesher album, like 80% of the people that have bought this record or bought the merch, they're all girls. I don't understand why. It's like that's new for me, but they have a disposable income and they're into it. But it's also what that record kind of is talking about shit in my life. So I guess people are relating to that in a different aspect. I never really talked about relationships and stuff like that before. I started just talking about it and letting shit out from my past, and it's just like a different weird record, but just not putting in the work, man. There's more than just sending out a Facebook invite. You know what I mean? You got to build relationships and network. And the reason why the cult music shit is working because all of us fucking when we met, we just started hanging out. You know what I mean? Before we did anything, before we got on stage together, before we made one note of music together, we just started hanging out and getting to know each other and building that chemistry. And like chemistry will take you very far, you
My
know?
favorite is when I get all these artists that send me, like, there's one in particularly, I'm not going to drop names, that sends me links religiously several times a day. And if I don't check them out right away, I get cussed out. Like, oh, you're not a
Right,
fan, or you don't
right.
know
But that's
nothing.
not how you
Like,
should approach your fans. It's just like, all right, like some dude sending a chick a dick pic. It's unwanted. You know what I mean? Especially if you don't know this person. You're not like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? Fucking, could you check out my stuff? Or, you know, when you get a chance or something that, you know,
right.
to lead into it. And most of the time, that shit's garbage, anyways. Because if you have to do that, then you need to rethink your whole strategy. You know, because if this is 2018, all right. So there's so much music out there because of the internet, good and bad. So that doesn't mean that like people won't wade through it and find the good stuff. And if you're making good music from your heart, people will find you. You do have to do a lot of work. You know, I realize that a lot of these new musicians, nobody wants to invest in themselves. They want you to buy their album or buy some download, but they don't want to pay a producer for a beat. They don't want to pay a graphics guy for good graphics. They don't want to pay for studio time. They don't, you know, like if you're not willing to invest out of your own pocket into yourself, then how is anybody else gonna? You know what I mean? And that's a huge problem. You know, like stealing beats from fucking YouTube, like that shit's all well and good, but like the reason why my album is doing good is because you know, it's available on iTunes, it's available on Spotify, it's available on all these things. It's because I own the fucking music. You know what I mean? You can't steal somebody's fucking beat and then get onto Spotify. It's just it's not gonna happen. You know, um, you could do that like on Bandcamp, or you could do that on YouTube, and that's good too. It's like the old school mixtapes when dudes used to rap over beats and stuff. But if that's solely your thing, then you're not growing, you know, because only you, even if you're not good at making beats, only you know really what's in your head. And like when you're taking beats just directly off of YouTube, you're you're kind of hurting yourself creatively because now you have to fit into this box of whatever that beat is or whatever where whenever the hook comes in or fucking, you know.
Yep.
So and like I try to just do the opposite. I think a year ago when I made the my Say Ah mixtape, I just when I first like I'd make music for a few years, I was just producing a lot of shit, and that's the first time I think I sampled a bunch of shit I've always wanted to sample, like Man Sid and Metallica and shit, and I just put it out for free, and it was just to get the juices going. I kept it really raw, tried to keep it like when I used to record on a 4-track, like as raw as I could keep it. But you know, I never got dusty making beats because I produced for a lot of people, you know, and my buddy Il Tempa, he's down now with Cult Music, and he came out of DRC. He's also a part of um, a bunch of other crews like Voodoo Doctors and shit. Like I produced a lot of shit for him. I don't know if you guys know Outland Camp. I
Sounds
produced
familiar.
Jimmy Carter's solo album, which is dope because fucking Slane and King Gordy were on that, you know. So
King Gordy. Okay.
just by proxy, I produced fucking those dudes. Actually, on the Halloween album, there's a remix from that I just did today, actually, of an Il Temper song that has Mad Child on it.
Hell
Pretty
yeah.
dope. You know,
Mad
yeah,
Child.
that Halloween album is gonna be pretty dope. It's got a bunch of new remixes, a couple unreleased tracks from the guys, a couple stuff that we put out. It's kind of like, hey, here's the whole crew, fucking, for dummies or something. I don't know. So like, not every song is like Halloween. How many times can you rap about Halloween? But we're trying to keep it themed that way, musically, sonically. But there are a couple curveballs in there. Like I just there's gonna be some cool shit on there. A couple cool covers that people don't expect. Because it is Halloween, so like covering a song is almost like wearing a costume, I guess.
Now, can you send me some of these when they're done for rotation?
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
yeah. As soon as it drops, I'll send you the link. But I can send you some of the stuff beforehand.
Definitely.
Yeah, you guys can play whatever you want.
Speaking of radio drop, before I forget, just say this is King Shem. You're listening to Gonzo and djsnickerz on Underground Wicked Radio, and say some links for people to check you out. This will play before all your songs on the radio.
Wait a minute. Let's start again. I'm doing Underground Wicked Radio with DJ Gonzo.
Yep, and djsnickerz.
I'm just gonna go ahead and use Black Hesher because
okay,
like that's pretty much what I'm using now. What up? This is Black Hesher. You're listening to Underground Wicked Radio with DJ Gonzo. Like that.
Yep, and djsnickerz.
And djsnickerz and DJ Gonzo, and we're about to get into Pornhub comments.
Oh shit, I'll have fun with that.
As far as us, Jay said it, cultmusic.com brings you right to the Bandcamp, but for the Black Hesher records, you can get it anywhere. iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, any place that is a digital provider of streaming music and downloading, everything but Pandora I'm on. So there's that.
What about, I got a question though. Don't you guys have a really dope ass package still you guys got going on right now?
Yeah, we do, man. For physical copies of the album, we're doing my album, Brando's 2 albums, Shattered Dreams and Against the Grain, a Jay Andrews EP, a Black Hesher poster and sticker. We'll probably throw in some ears. So I'll tell you what, I can put together 2 of those packages and send them to you guys, and you guys can just give them out to somebody, on your show. How about we'll do that?
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah.
All right.
That'd help promote you guys. I'm definitely down for that.
Yeah, man. No, we're all about it. It's more important for people to hear it. And as far as like the Hesher stuff, like I'm starting to do pretty good with merch and online. Brando's he does good with merch at the shows and physical and stuff. So, and we're about to hit up the 2019 with a bunch of shit. We got a bunch of ideas. We got a bunch of people working behind the scenes to help us, and we're about to influx a little bit of cash into this to get it going.
I have a quick question for you. How did you get a hold of Mad Child? I have been trying to find a manager, contact, something to get him on for an interview.
My buddy Zach introduced me to him. He's down with like the Backsport shit, and this was like a few years ago. And I just happened to be able to go to one of their meetings, and he was there. It was like before a show, and it was actually the show that I met G Life at and shit. But we were just talking, man. I just started talking to him because like he knew I wasn't like a part of that, and we were just talking about hip hop and stuff because he's a few years older than me, so we were like I think he dug me because we were just talking about hip hop. I didn't ask him for shit, and then it just kind of kept in touch with the dude, and eventually he sent me a 16, and I just sat on it for a long time, and then I was gonna use it for something else, and it didn't. I ended up using it, so I gave it to Il Tempo. But it's a pretty dope. Yeah, it's a dope song. So like the original song is just like a raw, dirty East Coast fucking song. I'll send you like his links as well. The remix I did the Black Hesher mix, so it's got this rock vibe to it.
Oh yeah. All right, Gonzo, man, we gotta take some final questions. Because I gotta work tomorrow. You want to take them this time, homie? Oh, hold up, because we didn't ask this. I should ask this at the beginning of the interview. I'm sorry, homie. Any upcoming projects and shows, CDs, any like merch you want to drop?
Yeah, if you just go to blackhesher.com, you can get the Black Hesher merch. We got fucking sneakers, we got shirts, we got a bunch of cool shit. Um, I'm working on a new Black Hesher EP right now that's gonna come out sometime in November. We got Jay Andrews full length. Brando was just here working on a brand new song today, actually, for the Halloween album. That's gonna be dope. The Halloween album will be out next Friday, and that will be for free, you know. And then we'll go back to pushing our stuff. And I'm still working the Hesher record. It's only it's only been out since June, so and there's so much still to do with it. So we're just focusing on 2019, just getting some more out of town shows, getting some festival shows. I got I'm waiting to hear back, but I know we're going to be doing a showcase at South by Southwest this year. I know that's going to be happening. I'm just waiting to hear back for that, which is huge because it's like the fucking Super Bowl of the music industry. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, I just dropped. My cat has a clothing line. Just dropped that shit today. Fucking, I don't know. Yeah, man. Blackhesher.com should take you to everything, or cultmusic.com. You know, Black Hesher.
Fuck yeah. All right, Gonzo, go ahead and take the final
on
question.
all this.
Wait, one more. I keep forgetting. Is there anything on this interview we have not covered that you want to talk about?
I don't know, man. Maybe like some of the production stuff, man. That's where,
Okay, there we go. Do you sell beats? Do you have a website or anything that artists can check out for beats?
Not really. I'm not into selling beats. Like, if I like you, then I'll work with you. You know what I mean? And because like something gets lost in that translation, like you just buy a beat from me, like a good producer's job is to make that artist sound as best as they can be. It's not about me. I have my own music for me, so it's not an ego thing. So I think that's what gets lost on a lot of producers. Plus, you just stay in this rap box that I've already outgrown. Like my major influence, I think, is like Rick Rubin. You know what I mean? Because he's fucking, produced hip hop. He's produced metal. He's produced fucking country and everything in between. And I really had that in mind when I made the Black Hesher record. It was like, when I started making beats, I started scratching records first, and then I started looping records and making beats. And now I'm at the point where like, it's not so much about sampling something. It's about how do I recreate the sound of this record. And you hear that a lot. On the Hesher record, it sounds like you'll swear I sampled something, but I probably replayed something or changed notes of something to capture that vibe. Like on the Hesher record, there's a song that sounds like fucking The Doors, but it's not. You know what I mean? But it was like capture that vibe. Like, what if I was like, I try to look at it like, what if I was back then and I knew about hip hop? Like, how would I approach this? So I made a rock record, but from a hip hop mindset. But it's still really like a rock record. It's not just like a couple guitar samples over a beat. You know what I mean? Yeah. The shit's the real deal. And it's the same thing with the guys with Jay and Brando, like their styles have evolved as well. You know what I mean? So it's like I love that you can't look at everything that we're doing right now and just say it's this or it's that.
So being a producer,
we just don't fit in.
What is your take on punch rap? Damn it. Wow, that just slipped my mind. Let me do a different one. What is your take on layering songs?
Layering songs?
Yes.
What do you mean? What do you
layering your voice like 2 or 3 times? Do you agree with that? To have more
I do it all the time. I mean any fucking a lot of records do that. A lot of people do that. Like all the way back to fucking you stripped away a fucking Led Zeppelin record to its vocal tracks. So it's just overdubs. You know what I mean? Every song that I approach like it's the only song I've ever made. You know what I mean? Because I don't like to have any filler. So by the time somebody hears something from me, I've already edited out shit that I thought was whack or didn't work.
So what about layering to the left and the right? For more
You mean panning?
Yes, panning. What do you think of that?
Well, it depends. Like if you're recording and you're mixing in stereo. Like everything's already kind of in stereo. So if you're panning to the right and left, I use it more when I have two different things going on. You know what I mean? So like, say when I'm layering fucking scratches, one different one will be on the left, one will be on the right. You know, there's no point on putting two of the same things, just panning it each way, because you can already just make it stereo by itself. So that, or like true stereo, you know. So it depends on what you're doing, and like with my stuff, like the more you listen to it, the more you'll hear little things that are buried in it, you know, and that's when that kind of comes handy. But it just all depends on your like mixing technique. There's no right or wrong. It just what sounds good to you, and if you're bumping it and you're feeling it, then there's no, because you can um like I've had dudes I know that have gone to like Berkeley School of Music and have all this music theory, and then I'm playing a beat, and they'd be like, "How'd you do that?" And I explain it, and they'd be like, "You can't do that," and I'd be like, "I did though." You know, I never learned to read music. I just learned to do it by myself. And most of the musicians around me and cats around me in this crew, everybody just learned by doing it. You know, you put your hands on something and you do it. And also like there, I like be having my foot in both worlds of like hardware and software. With software, you can do anything you can think in your head, but also if you can't program on a fucking drum machine, or you can't fucking use a keyboard or anything like that, then what are you without your computer program? You know what I mean? What are you without a program that automatically sets a tempo for you? You know, so I think they're both good. You know, and people, it's just whatever you choose to use and you excel at, but don't be just stuck in that box of like, I only use this program, I only use that program. You know, or like you gotta work around it too, because the shit doesn't always, you know, work. Sometimes shit fucks up. Like, you know, when we're playing shows, sometimes like a fucking um one show we were on tour, I was playing right off my tablet, just you know, the backing tracks, and shit got fucked up, and I had to fucking think on the fly without stopping the show. And
What you
like you
call it?
always have to, always have to be ready, you know, for because
Well, I got
nothing's
one
ever gonna go
more.
the way you planned it.
One
You know,
more production question for you, man.
shoot.
What is your take on rhyme scheme? Like, do you think it's good to have a rhyme scheme on every bar, or do you think it should be like every other bar?
Like, what do you mean by rhyme scheme? Like you mean
Um,
your cadence, your way you're flowing, or the way that you're writing? There's so many ways. Like, there's so
how
many
do I
ways
put
to
it this
write
way?
a song. Like, all right, if you go when you're writing, you mean like you know rhyming every word?
No, I hate that shit, man. That annoys
Well,
me.
it's just whatever sounds good, man. Because there's so many ways to do it. You can do it like a simple way where every last word rhymes, like cat,
That's what I
hat,
like
bat.
to hear sometimes.
Or yeah,
Like go to the
I
middle of
do
it.
it sometimes, or sometimes you have multi syllables, like you know the
Yes.
cat with the bat hit the hat and the rat. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Or sometimes you can fucking rhyme every word in the sentence.
Mhm.
Sometimes you can. It depends because um every type of rap is different. But then like where we go in our shit too, like with the rock shit, it's not always structured like that. You know what I mean? A good
Exactly.
example is like I just did a cover of Korn's Adidas for the Halloween album, made like just a pure hip hop version, and
Hell yeah.
as simple as those lyrics are, it was hard to crunch it together and rap it because it wasn't designed that way. And
Yeah,
the way that
exactly.
dude sings isn't even a traditional way of singing, like fucking, you know, um, like a traditional rock singing. You know, it was such a
Yeah.
unique style that on the second verse, like I finally nailed it, but it was so it's only like a fucking simple little fucking couple lines, but to get it to fit into a rap structure wasn't that easy because it wasn't written that way. You know what I mean?
Why I
So
ask is because I have producers saying that in my new song I just made, I don't have enough rhyme scheme. But that's not what I was going
but
for
that
because
I
I
don't even
did
know what
metal
that
rap.
means. Like your rhyme scheme,
Rhyme
like you
scheme,
mean like your verse, like the way your cadence, it's just a weird
basically, yeah.
terminology
I
for
mean,
who. Like, what do you mean you're not rhyming on beat, or you're uh
I'm not rhyming every single verse or every
well
single bar,
well
bro. Like,
basically I guess I'm not using the word use the term rhyme scheme, but you're talking about your pattern, right? The
yeah,
pattern
yeah, yeah,
of
basically.
the way you flow. All right.
Yeah.
Or like how everything lines. Yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
it just that's on their preference. I mean, like if you're rhyming in bars, I don't know if you're writing in 8s or 16s or like like your typical structure of a song is 16 bar verse, 8 bar chorus, 16 8 16 8. But that even that gets boring. You got to switch it up. It's okay to start with a chorus. It's okay to fucking play around. Don't be, and that's the problem with getting beats from people and just buying beats, because now you're stuck to the structure they made their beat. Whereas like say if I was producing you, I'd send you a beat to write to, but then would structure it around the way that you wrote. Everything would change. And if somebody's selling you a beat and you're paying for it, then they should be doing that, because you're not, other than that, you're not getting what you pay for, I guess.
Yep.
All
right, Mike, I know you're getting tired, homie. He has, yeah,
little thing first, All right, so pretty much, with our page, Gonzo Styles, we're on Facebook. Check our page out. We've kind of made our growth slower because we like to deal with artists that are very organic,
right?
That are tightly knitted. Like you guys, we love you guys. You already know the story with all of us and stuff. You know what I mean?
I'm with it, man.
That's the type of people we like to deal with. So everyone we deal with is very, very selective.
Right.
I love to be able to do interviews with people like you, because I like to show what the real, not the underground, but like the real meaning of like music and stuff. It's all about the love,
Right.
It's like what dude said in Celsius Punk, man. It's all about that love.
Right. Why don't script interviews?
We're some really humble cats too, and we get that everywhere we've traveled so far. And it's because we've already been through the ringer. Plus, we're old enough to know that like that ego shit gets you nowhere. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you got to be humble, and the shit will come. And we're all finally at a point where everybody's back on the rise. So it's like that. You know what I mean? Life that is like one fucking fucked up roller coaster, right? So now we're back to climbing up. So yeah, man. Thank you for having me and Jay Andrews. We appreciate it. We're down to help out and support anyway. You know what I mean? I'll send you some beats, homie. Help you out. So yeah, man, you can just find us, I guess. My Twitter is at Shamrock Christ, or Spotify Black Hesher, YouTube Black Hesher, Facebook. You just look up DRC Cult Music, it'll pop up. Or King Shem Black Hesher, and it'll pop up. And I'm down. Hit me up. Anybody listening up there, just hit me up, man. I'm cool. I'm down to talk to whoever. Just don't spam me or send me dick pics.
All right, Gonzo, before we hop off, man, I had an idea about making an Underground Wicked Radio DVD with some of these interviews.
That's a great idea.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great idea. I can send you a link to a dope site that's pretty cheap for it, too.
Hell yeah.
Right. Let's get some shout-outs going on here.
I was just going to say that.
Right.
I'd like to give a shout-out to fucking Abraham Lincoln for inventing electricity. Shout-out to Bill Clinton. Shout-out to Bill Clinton. He's one of the greatest WNBA coaches of all time. Anybody who thinks they should get a shout out, get it. My cult music crew, Jay Andrews, Brando, Big Mike, the Priors, they've helped us a lot. All my people on the East Coast, everybody out here, everybody. I was born in Massachusetts. I was born in a city called Stoughton, and I grew up in a city called Brockton, Mass, which is about a couple 100,000 people, and it's like right outside of the city of Boston. Mm-hmm. So I spent most of my life on the East Coast there, lived a little bit in Florida, and then the West Coast.
I'm from New York.
Oh, what part?
Adirondack Mountains.
Huh?
Adirondack Mountains, born and raised.
Is that like upstate?
Yep, upstate New York, yep.
All right, straight, yeah. So at this point in my life, though, I've effectively lived half of my life on both coasts, So it's, I could hear it seep because, real quick wrapping up, like if you go back to the Black Hesher record and you listen to it, that's a fucking Southern California record that I made, being an East Coast kid, but you can hear like the influences, but like old school SoCal, you know what I mean? Like late 70s, early 80s, which is where we got the aesthetic for the cover and shit, really caught their vibe, So yeah, man, I gotta go eat some fucking dinner.
Yeah, we got ourselves. Last question, homie. Did you enjoy your interview on Underground Wicked Radio, and would you come back?
Yeah, Absolutely, man. I think you guys
Oh,
are
yeah.
fucking gonna grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger, man. Just keep doing what
I've
you
been
guys
at
are
this
doing.
for 11 years, man. I just keep pushing and hoping eventually something's gonna.
Dude,
Yep.
it took me fucking forever to get where I'm at now, and now I see where it's going, and it's only going up from here, you know. So
Mhm.
just don't ever let anybody tell you any different, you know. Just fucking follow your
Hell
dreams
no,
or
man.
follow
Hey,
mine.
man, my
Get my
idols
chin
know
up.
who I am. I'm fucking happy. Like, I've been listening to ICP since 1989. Before they
Right,
were even ICP, they're the JJ Boys. And I got
right.
radio drops from them. So, I
That's
mean,
dope. So like, yeah, dude, I get it, dude. Like the Beastie Boys are like that to me, so I understand completely. You know.
yeah. Hell yeah. All right, homies, we're going to hop off here.
All
Thank you
right,
for
my
taking the
man.
time, homie, and getting on here.
Absolutely.
Oh, DJ Snickers out. Everyone have a good night.
All right, man.